All right. All right. Oops. I got to refresh this page. We are live. Good morning out there to everybody in the group. We got a special guest today, a very, very special guest. Before I introduce him, first, I am just going to tag everyone in this post so that people far and wide on their Facebook journey can be aware that we're live and they can come tune in. And if you want other people to see this, feel free to comment. It shows it to more people in the group. I am joined by the wonderful Coach Andrew, who's a new addition to the RN Body Transformations team. He's an amazing guy. Been vetting him now for multiple months. He has been in the industry. It's true. He has been in the industry of health and fitness for over 25 years. He's been a high performance coach, going not just for health and fitness, but beyond as well, going into lifestyle, stress, so on and so forth, for 7 years. And he was voted best personal trainer every year since, what was it, 1990? No, what would that be, 2000?
1999.
1999 by his mother. So that's fantastic. I should make that one up. But no, very happy to have Coach Andrew here. He is an amazing coach, an amazing human, father of 3, and very excited to be talking. Two. Oh, sorry. What did I say? 3?
Two.
I think I want you to adopt me. I'm, count me in, Coach. But amazing guy, very knowledgeable, and I'm very happy to be talking with him today and have him share some of that wisdom. And today we're really going to be talking about how to create lasting change. And we pretty much just talked for a good 10 minutes before this, but we're going to try to regurgitate some of that. I'll let you take from here. Why this topic? Why not? Sure. Why not talk about best fat loss foods? Why are we talking about this? Why is this?
Well, it's one of those things where our mind sometimes desires change with what we're experiencing. So sure. If we want something different in our lives, like our clients that are joining us, attempting to change their health and fitness, their overall health, their body, everything, it starts from here. And everyone, I would think, would agree that if we want something to change in our life, then we need to do something different.
Yes.
And what does that mean? Right. So it's I can do the workouts, I can eat, excellent, but if I'm still dealing with stress or if I don't feel fulfillment, then usually that means we haven't changed something up here. And right. What can be challenging with that is, I'm sure you would agree, all of our clients have strengths. Right. They are high performing, strong, intelligent women that are awesome. So it's what do they need to do differently to really experience change in their life? Well, it starts with looking at the qualities that we need to experience in our life, that we need to improve, and we need to bring them. We can't try to be them. We can't just want to be them. We have to be them. And so, if we're dealing through something that's uncertain, whether it's maybe a promotion or maybe it's doing something like what we do with our clients in regards to health and fitness and wellness, if it's changing a relationship, it's well, how do I show up differently to get the change that I really desire? And
that makes
usually
sense.
It means we got to start thinking and feeling differently.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think piggyback on that, this idea of I think they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So yeah, if you are out there and you are wanting to experience a new result, a new change, and you just haven't been able to yet, potentially we need to shift something. We need to change the action. We need to change how we feel. We need to change the way we're viewing it, right? I think Tony Robbins famously called that story, strategy, and state, right?
Yep.
The 3 S's, which I love.
Right.
I think that's fantastic. And I think this could also be demonstrated by this equation, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it was Zig Ziglar that I heard this from originally. I mean, this is going all the way back. We're going going all the way. And if you guys are here, feel free to drop a comment, say hey, ask a question, wish good wishes to Coach Andrew. But let me see here. So it's missing the first part. But you can see that it's thinking, which leads to actions, which leads to results. But it's input that changes the thinking, right? Everything is input, right? That we take in. It can be what we hear, it can be what we see, it can be what we experience. That's what changes our thinking, which changes our actions, which changes our results. A lot of us just say, okay, I want to change my results, so I have to change my actions. But if we don't change the thinking, if we don't change the inner game, then the chances of us sustaining that are going to be less than optimal, I guess we could say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would totally agree with that. And so to continue off of that, so what does that mean? Like, how do we change our thinking, right? And sometimes,
yeah. What do I do? Okay, cool. Thanks. What do I do?
And sometimes we already have limiting beliefs. We already have like
Yes.
negative thoughts. Like, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 60s. I can't change, right?
Yes.
Or I've been in this position for so long, I'm afraid to put myself out there and do something different. Or,
Yes.
I don't want to change my whole schedule, my family's expectations. Like, we have all these things that are already affecting our thinking. So what we have to do is bring something different into the mix. So like, what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to demonstrate in your life? For example, like joining RN Body Transformations, I told you this, like there's 3 things I bring in to my preparation for every call.
Yeah.
I want to be bold, I want to be consistent, and I want to be loving towards our clients, because I don't know what they're experiencing, right? I don't want to assume that, oh, you can do this or you can't do that or you're limited here. No, I want to love and appreciate what their reality is, but also stoke the potential for the future. So I have those words written down: bold, consistent, and loving. And as I prepare myself, I'm like, how will I be bold for Melissa? Or how will I be consistent for Gwen? Or how will I be loving, towards Michelle? Like, I'm going to show up with those qualities, and it helps. I'm going to bring them in, even if I'm not perfect, right? And that's the idea. We're not trying to be perfect. I just want to practice them.
I love that, because I remember hearing too when I was younger this idea where focus goes, energy flows, and results soon follow. We live in a distraction world. I mean, come on, with our phones. I mean, even this,
right there, arm's reach. Yeah.
Like a lot of us too, like I hate to be part of the distraction, but like you're on Facebook, you saw this notification, and now you're here. But hopefully this is a good interruption. This was an interruption that, like, interruptions can either, bring us further away from where we want to go, or they can bring us closer. Hopefully this is one that's bringing you closer. And in this distraction world, it's hard to get away from the distractions. Yes, you can minimize your distractions, turn off notifications on your phone. You can, let's say, get off the news. You can kind of isolate ourselves a little bit more, but it is a part of our reality to a big degree. So what I'm a big fan of is just having other things that pull you back, and that kind of like your Post-its. It's like you have these things written down. Like I have my big 3 things to pull me back every day. These are my 3 visions for my life. They're so simple, really easy to understand. They're not goals, right? Goals are different. Goals are, time sensitive. They're quantifiable. These are visions. Like being bold isn't a goal. It's like,
right.
How can you quantify being bold?
You're right.
That's
exactly right. That's so good. Well, and would you agree? So like having that on your board helps you check in with where you are now, right?
Yeah.
But you also have, it's like you have one hand on the wheel and you have your other hand kind of, where am I going towards my goals? So it's moving forward in a direction, but you're not like, just diving into it, or we see the direction, but we're like, I'm good right here, right?
Yes.
It's we need present, but we also need future, but we need both. And when you see your board, I'm sure when you look at it, you think of, okay, what am I doing to be my ultimate you today? Like what's happening? What's right? It's what's happening in reality. And then we know what's happening in our reality now based off what you're looking at, what you're thinking about. It's directing you towards your future. And that's why I think it's so important to emphasize this, is we all have like the habits, we have the routines, we have those things that are going to serve us moving forward, but we got to acknowledge I'm doing this today and celebrating like the example I shared of being bold. If I feel like right now, and I'm kind of feeling it right now, I'm being bold, I want to celebrate that after like our podcast. Like that felt really good. I got the butterflies and everything being alive and and everything, but it feels good to be the quality now. Do I feel like I'm doing it perfectly? No, but
No
it feels really good to make the attempt, right? And that's what I emphasize so much is it's the attempt. We got to make the attempt. So if you're being your qualities, I saw one pop up there, Ryan. I think love myself. Could you read that for me?
Yeah. I actually wanted to touch upon that, which I thought was.
Oh, now I see it. I need to learn to love myself enough to see it through. So great example. Every day I will love myself.
So many tabs open. I think I need to restart.
Oh, I got you.
Can you hear me? We back?
I can hear you. But like that example of like I need to learn to love myself enough to see it through.
Can you hear me? Are we back? Okay? Can you hear me?
I can see you. Can you see me?
I'm gonna close some tabs. Nothing like some technical difficulties to start the day.
It's golden, right?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Let me just move this over.
The beauty of...
I think I just have to reconnect. Can you hear me now?
Yep. I gotcha.
Perfect. All right. We're back in the mix. All right.
Wait.
So
I want to use this. I love myself in the chat. So like I need to learn to love myself enough to see it through. So how do we practice that? I will love myself today by what? And complete the sentence, right? So, or direct your mind to go there. How will you love yourself today?
Yes.
And don't filter it. Just be like, I could go for a walk, or I could drink more water, or I could read, or I could just take a moment outside. What will you do to love yourself? And that is a daily practice for that thinking that we were talking about, which will lead you. It'll help you discover what are the actions I need to take to do that, to be that. And it's so powerful to identify what do you need to get better at. This is good.
100%. So it's Misty that put that comment. Misty, welcome to the group, by the way. And first off, I just got to honor you by posting that. Like, that's fantastic. And also by having the awareness of that. Like, that is such a true statement that we are who we are and where we are because of what's gone into our mind. But the powerful thing is you can change who you are. You can change where you are just by changing what goes into your mind. And any person you want to be, any result you want to have, you can have. You just have to start with something new, right? New input, new thinking. So to Andrew's point, I love that. How are you going to love yourself today? Define it. And I would piggyback that by saying, it doesn't have to be these, like, the standard for what it takes to feel good about ourselves doesn't have to be super crazy high. It doesn't have to be, I have to, run 3 miles today when I haven't run a day in my life in the last 3 years to feel good about myself. Let's put the standard lower for what it takes for you to feel good about yourself. Maybe it's, I'm going to bring my water bottle and carry it around with me today. And I'm going to make the conscious effort to drink more water. That's a good standard, make it easy, hey, I'm just, during my lunch break, like, I know it sounds corny, this whole idea of like, use the stairs, not the elevator, park far away in the parking lot. But these are all opportunities to be able to start just shifting your identity even further and to get those tiny wins that stack, right? We don't have to be hitting a home run every single time. Get the single, celebrate, get the double. Celebrate. You don't have to strike out. Get on base, baby.
Get on base. That's all we need.
I was talking to the enrollment coaches this morning, right? Our enrollment coach team are, for anyone who doesn't know, are the people who talk to the RNs coming in generally before and identify, are they a good fit to work with our coaches, or also to be able to help them get their goals on the surface. And one of the things we were talking about was consistency trumps intensity, right? Like this idea of, I would rather somebody say, you know what, the next 12 months, I'm with you at a lower intensity than 12 weeks where they're just going crazy all in, their lights flipping upside down to try to make their life, make their body different in 12 weeks. Consistency is what matters, because consistency is what leads to identity change, right? Not intensity. Right. You could, like, this is why I'm not a huge fan of like 75 hard, because 75 hard, again, isn't bad, but it's 2.5 months. And if you quit anywhere through it, which I think the percentage that people finish 75 hard is like 10%, what does that do to our identity? Right? Like, yes, you look at the actions you took and you're like, those are healthy actions, but then where are you 3 months from now? Right? These are just small thoughts.
Well, you're right. Because then it's like, then what? You do 75 hard, they do it again. And I've known a few people that have completed it and they're like, I'm done. And what they do is
I did enough for the next year.
It's like they just retract, right? And they just like
there's
no,
too much pain associated.
They're like, yeah, I want to get back to enjoying life. Like I did that, and then
how crazy is it? Yeah, that they associate no pain. That they associate pain with exercise now.
Right? Exactly. And they go back to like where they started, or even worse, and they're like, oh, I should do that again. But it's like, man, no, like just spread it out. Do what you know is the right thing to do, but like get consistent where you know you could do it month to month and keep leveling up, but not leveling down because you're like, I'm done. I'm over this. Like, forget this. Like,
I'm going to start a new program.
That's crazy.
It's going to sweep the nation. It's not going to be 75 hard. It's going to be 365 easy. Let's go. No, because I mean, that's what leads to identity change. It's like, it's not ever. I know. Look, the Rocky movies are awesome to watch, right?
The montage.
It's like you see the montage. It happens fast. Yeah. You see the before and after. Yeah. But it's like what we don't see is like, you know, for the women that we've worked with, transform their bodies, sustain it forever. Like I always think of Carla because she's just like such a great example. She's lost 130 pounds. Has been able to sustain it for 7 years. For her, it's like it wasn't sexy. The process.
Sure.
You know, like when she was in month 5 and she hadn't lost weight for 3 weeks in a row, but she kept doing the actions because she was quantifying her worth, not by the result, but by the action she was doing consistently.
Yep.
And she just kept going. She's like, well, yeah, you know, it is what it is. That's not like, there's no one like giving you high fives and like, you know, celebrating your victories when you haven't lost weight for 4 months, for 3-4 weeks in a row. It's like, this, but that's reality. And like, this is like life is boring to an extent where it's like, if we can just get health and fitness to the same level of boredom and mundane everyday living, that's where you win, you know, in my opinion. We did have another comment came in as well.
I saw that.
Yeah. Let me refresh the page because I can't see names unless I refresh the page. And I always want to be talking to people, right? Oh, it was Missy. Missy says, being in healthcare, we put others first. So it's a guilt to love yourself in that way. It can be. And I think that guilt comes from this, you know, feeling that a lot of our self-worth comes from helping others. And there's a belief, talking about what Andrew talked about, limiting beliefs. One of the limiting beliefs that can stop us, especially RNs in healthcare, is that if I take care of myself, I will take care of others less. And that's just not true. Where even though, yes, the total amount of hours could potentially be less, I can just about promise you that when you take care of yourself, even just a couple hours a week, you're more mentally clear. You make less mistakes. You have more energy. You're more empathetic. You're less stressed. You show up in a way more powerful way to influence and help this person. I've had a lot of my RNs say in the past, I want to lead by example. I feel weird going up to my patient and saying like, hey, yeah, you really need to lay off this or lay off that, or hey, you know, too much sugar is bad for you. And they're looking at me like, yeah, whatever, you know? Like, imagine, you don't have to, you know, work more hours. It's like, just imagine if the hours you worked, you had more impact. So if there's any belief, Misty, that you're holding on to right now, that's like, if I take care of myself, that's being selfish and I'm giving less to others. No, it's the opposite. You are being selfish by not taking care of yourself because you're not showing up on the highest level you could. Let that sink in. Yeah. And imagine if you had that belief, what would you do? Well, you would feel guilt by not exercising. You would feel guilt by not taking time for yourself. You would feel guilt by, essentially letting people walk all over you. If they are, I'm not saying they are or they aren't. You would feel guilt if you're pouring from an empty cup, and you would start prioritizing if you really believe that, the new belief, and you created evidence to support it. And it wasn't just something that you're getting from me and you're like, oh, that could be true, but you find evidence to support the new belief, which is how you create new beliefs. You get evidence for it. Then you win. And then it becomes something more permanent.
I get an amen on a Tuesday. Can I get an amen on a Tuesday? Like,
amen! Hallelujah!
But you're right. The better you take care of yourself, the better you will take care of others. Like I believe that's a fact. And I've seen 100%. It, I don't know, with hundreds of people. Just the more just the more healthy you feel, the more you will do, the more you'll take on, and you'll handle it. Like you show up, right. You manage it effectively, efficiently, and you aren't carrying it. Like I've seen a number of clients where they give, and they are awesome for what they give. But at the end of the day, they have nothing left, and they're just smoked,
toasted.
But you doing something like this, like taking care of yourself, eating, hydrating, sleeping when you can, getting enough of everything you need, caring for yourself first, it amplifies, in my opinion, everything 100%. You care for, anyone you care for, but it has to come from you. You're the source. Like you radiate all this care out. If you're feeling that care for yourself, it's impossible for someone else not to feel like, man, Missy's taking care of me. I can feel it. And she's not carrying the load, the burden of like, oh, I just gotta give. We don't want to manage our energy like that, where it's like I can only pour out so much, but I can't pour anything back to me. You pour it on you first, you take care of you first. It will amplify, radiate, however you want to think of it, but you will give more. I would be shocked if anyone didn't notice a difference in how the more you care for yourself, you take care of you first, the more you don't find yourself giving better, whether it's higher quality of care, whether it is more care quantity wise, but not in more time. Like I truly believe that. I truly believe it has that kind of math, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah. Is this for those of you out there, because I see some eyeballs coming in and now, does this resonate? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments. We never want to talk at you. We want to talk with you. We want to know. We want to see where we can help. And let us know if you have any questions as well. If you're in a position where you're looking to, start your journey, not necessarily with a coach with us, but just even start your personal journey, and let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help. I think it was Misty that said, yes, it resonates, but I'm going to double check.
I'll keep speaking to this.
Yes.
This is one of my most favorite topics. Like you mentioned, Ryan, like I've been in the industry for 25 years and I've seen this commonality. The better clients in any capacity, whether it's been athletes or seniors or rehab or weight loss or whoever, the ones that take better care of themselves, when I ask, like, what are you excited about? What's going on? Oh, I'm doing this, or, oh, I never did this before and I did it today, or I'm going for that promotion that I've been talking about for the last 6 months. I'm actually going to go for it. Like change happens in their life because they're taking care of themselves. It's not just by what I get to experience with them. It's they're working on their relationships. They're working on organizing their home, they're doing stuff. They're making their bed. They're doing all this stuff to like amplify their life, and they're taking care of themselves. And whether they see it or not, I'm able to see that. And I pointed out, hey, you told me 6 months ago you weren't talking to that person, and now you're best friends, or now your relationship with your husband hasn't been great, but you're actually going on dates.
Yes.
Interesting. Like, how did that happen? Oh, well, I just started feeling like that's what I wanted to do, or that we needed to do that.
I had capacity to.
I had the confidence. Yeah. And so again, those words, those qualities, I feel confident.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but I just feel like I got to do something. And fit, healthy people, in my opinion, take on the world. They do it. They don't sit on their thumbs. I just don't think I can do it. Like, that's not
right. They embody it.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. So like, we talked a little bit about limiting beliefs. What are some limiting beliefs that, somebody, if you can think about even yourself in the past or clients of yours that are just, maybe before they start their journey, what would be some limiting beliefs that you think should be questioned? We talked about one. Okay, a limiting belief that is just not true, that will stop you from transforming your body, is that if you take care of yourself, you will take care of others less.
Mhm.
That is not true. It's
Mhm.
it's a false limiting belief. It's limiting because it stops you from taking action. What would be another false limiting belief? And then we'll even get into true limiting beliefs. And those are the
Yeah.
tricky ones, because those are limiting
Mhm.
beliefs that are true, but they don't serve you. But let's
Mm.
get into some other false limiting beliefs. What else comes to
Uh,
mind?
I mean, something to the effect of, I've tried this before. It's never
Yes.
worked for me.
Yes.
Why should I do it now? And there's a lot to unpack there, right? When someone says that to me, like, again, I don't know what that means. Like, tell me about
Right.
that. How many times have you attempted it? How long did you notice it wasn't working and you stopped? Oh, it was
Right.
always about a month. Well, what if you kept going past that month? Do you think that might have changed? So it's always
Yes.
the outcome. I won't get the outcome that anybody else would get. Like, for some reason, I don't get that outcome. I don't
Can
get the
yes.
change.
Can I sum up the belief?
Yeah. Yeah.
The belief being, I've tried everything,
Everything. Yep.
right? That's a false limiting belief. It's limiting because you won't take action, because why would you? You've already tried everything. And it's false because everything,
Right.
it's like, no,
Yeah.
you've tried these 5 things that you keep trying, and then,
Yep.
they don't work, and you try them again because they're the only things and you've done them 2 or 3 times where you're like, well, that's everything. Well, maybe, or maybe not, because in the grand scheme of the universe and everything, human knowledge, don't you think it's possible? And like, when I think about that, the answer is, of course, yes. I may not know how, but is the information out there? Are there people with the information? Is it in the internet somewhere? Like, I feel like one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is hear success stories of other people. And I'm not necessarily talking about people that have gone through this program. It can be anyone
Anybody.
that has achieved the goal you want, right? If you want to lose weight and transform your body forever, listen to success stories of people who have done it. Because when you hear the stories, not just before and afters, that's not a story. You can't connect to that. You can't look at a before and after and go and feel connected. You have to hear the story about their struggles, their ups and downs. And I promise you that when you do, you start to go, well, if they can do it, so can I. Well, how did they do it?
Yep.
And then you start to find, oh, their approach was different than mine. And maybe that story wasn't, but the others were. And that's where you start to, create new action.
To add to that, if you do listen to someone's success story, listen for their process, because
Yeah.
that's the other limiting belief I wanted to touch on is, well, how long is this going to take? I don't, I've done this before. After a few months, I didn't see results, so I stopped. So tell me how long it's going to take. Tell me about the process. So if you listen to success stories, listen to the process. How was it? How long was it? What did they do? Like, listen to the details, because then you can relate to, ooh, I could do that for 6 months. I could do that for 12 months. I could do that for the rest of my life. I could do this, every day. I could do this. And they're like me, listen to those themes. But again, like, to your point, Ryan, it's not the before and the after. Like, those are awesome to see, but you need to do some research if need be, or listen to, or really capture what was the process between the before and the after. Because
The
that
during. Yeah.
it's what people,
The
I think,
during. Yeah.
they're not ready for, because they were just,
Sure.
oh, well, I should be the after by now. They tell
Sure.
themselves that, like, so that's another piece that I think is important to touch on.
I think that's a fun takeaway. It's like, it's not about the before, the after. It's about the during. That's where a lot of the answers lie, right?
That's where the coaching is, right? That's where we do what we do. It's in the during.
I would say too, looking at those success stories, right? Whoever you're gonna look at, look at the length of time they talk about. I had a mentor say when I was young, you know, not that we're a money channel, but or talking about money, but he was talking about money, and he said, you can tell somebody's net worth by how long they talk about time. You know, the people who like have a little bit of money say like, you know, this month or this quarter. People who have a lot of money speak in years. People who have crazy amounts of money speak in decades. And the same thing can be translated to our health and wellness. People who talk in days or weeks, that can be looked at as, well, you know, they're kind of struggling. They don't really have it locked in. And like, they're going to be very emotionally erratic, because if they're focused on the day, you know how that's going to look. Weight's going to go up and down like crazy. It's going to be like your whole world's going to be burning down every day. It's going to be chaotic and crazy. If you can zoom out and talk about it in months, well, how do the ups and downs look? A lot less, and it looks a lot more linear going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you zoom out even further and you talk in years, right? A lot of us measure the process by the result we get. But the problem is we zoom in so close to the result and we go day to day, oh, it's not happening. But if you zoom out and imagine if you couldn't judge the process of you getting in shape until you've been doing it for a year, and then you can judge it.
Mm.
Well, everyone would get results, because, you know, the general knowledge is out there. And yeah, we're desensitized to it because we talk about it all day and all that. But like, the knowledge is out there. You eat I mean, it's all in this group too. Like I have hours and hours and hours of content, not just on mindset, but on the actual physical formulas to be able to lose fat, right? Mm-hmm. How to calculate your calories, how to calculate your macros, how to set all that stuff up. That's not the problem. The problem is, how can I start this and never stop again? Because when you start this and never stop again, that's when you win. That's why even just recently, we shifted how we look at programming with what we offer. Where for a long time we said, hey, look, 12-week RN body breakthrough, let's do it. But the problem was, we realized that we were actually we're offering a disservice to a lot of our clients by not focusing on the year. Even if it was a less intense service for the year, but they were with us for longer, identity is created through consistency. It's not about the flash in the pan. That's why we don't do any type of 6-week program. And we're very much shying away now from 12-week programs, and even shying away from 24-week and 6-month programs, because really change happens. And our highest success rate with our clients are the ones who are with us for a year or longer. Mm-hmm. Now, you might be out there and you might say to yourself, oh my God, a year? Well, yeah, but it's going to happen regardless. The year is going to happen regardless. And if we associate, oh my God, that's a long time to be working out and stuff to get a result. Well, the goal is not to get healthy. The goal is to stay healthy. So after you get to your goal, even if you could get there in 6 weeks, how long are you going to do it for? You got to do it forever anyway. Whether you get to your goal in 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, right, 6 years from now, you're still going to be doing it.
Right.
So that's what we have to optimize for, the end, which the end is the end of your life. That's what we're optimizing for. How can you start this and keep it going until the end? And when you're at the end, to still think to yourself, yeah, I could have kept going. That's a pretty good goal, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to that, like if someone was thinking like a year, oh my gosh, my first question that comes to mind is, how long have you been feeling the way you're feeling now as we're talking? Sure. It's rarely like, oh, it's been a few weeks. It's usually, it's been months, or it's been, you know, I felt this for the last 5 years, or since I started having kids, or since my kids gotten older and I have more time for myself. I just haven't done anything. Well, for how long? It's usually, at least in my experience, I've been feeling this way for a long time. Well, what if we flip the script truly and move things forward for the next year, and we change what you've been feeling in the past year, and we just flip the script, and then we keep going? How would that feel? Like that'd be pretty amazing, right? So it's again, it comes back to what we think about, what we believe in, what we feel. It really does dictate, you know, our success, or are we going to stay where we are?
100%. And I think the last question is just, would you rather lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, but a year from now, gain it back? Or would you rather lose 1 pound a week and lose it forever, right? And like when we zoom out, losing 1 pound a week, when I tell that to people, like, okay, what can I expect to lose? You can expect to lose, generally, it depends on the individual, their stress, all that stuff. But like generally 1 pound of fat a week is really sustainable, we found. You can accelerate that a little bit, but like generally that's where you want to be. Because that means that you're eating a deficit of 3,500 calories a week, right? And if the average person, let's just say, is maintenance at 2,000, they're eating 1,500. You really don't want to go too much beyond that, because like, okay, cool, you can lose 2 pounds of fat a week, but now you're eating 1,000 calories a day. Ugh, you're gonna be tired and grumpy, and it's gonna be an issue, right? Not as sustainable.
Not gonna be too fun, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, on average, but we look at, again, zoomed in, and we go, a pound a week. Oh, I want it to happen so much faster. But again, we zoom out. Well, what's your goal? I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, it's going to happen over the year.
Mm-hmm. And
like, here's the magical thing. And this is going to sound really weird. A lot of the clients that I've worked with hit their weight goals without even noticing. Go, well, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, it makes perfect sense, because the people who are super obsessed about the number are so emotionally attached. Well, guess what? Your weight's going to go up. And when it does, what's going to happen? You're going to have a negative reaction, and then you're going to stop. Mm-hmm. And you stack those, even if you don't stop that time, you have too many negative things happen, and now it pulls you off. Whereas, the clients that hit their goal, like, they'll weigh themselves once a month, and they'll hop on, and they'll be like, oh, my goal was 150. I'm 146. Sick. Guess what? Nothing changes. They keep eating the way they're eating. They keep exercising the way they are. They keep sleeping. It's all about the actions, right? But we could ramble on like this forever. We're done. We're going to end it.
To be continued.
If you guys are interested in working with Coach Andrew or any of our coaches, I'll put a link to apply to work with us. And if you have any questions at all on anything, whether you're a client or not, drop it in the comments below. Coach Andrew, myself, will come back and answer any of these and help you in any way that we can. So we love you guys. We're about to hit 10,000 registered nurses in this group, which is freaking crazy to me. I know in social media terms, that's a small number, especially when you see like, oh my God, Ariana Grande, 112 million followers. But like, just for perspective, like some of the local, let's say, football fields and baseball fields can barely, if even, hold 10,000 people. Like, that's 20,000 eyeballs. That's ridiculous. So don't take it for granted. We're here to help. Let us know how we can serve you. And if you're new to the group, check out all the other videos. Like, look at the titles, look at the resources. I can tell you that with all the information that's here, all the information that's here is all that you need to transform your body and sustain it. If you feel like you need a coach, we're here to help, but not everyone needs one. So hopefully this helps. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.